Hey guys, Ross here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, as you may all be well aware on Arena Breakout, one of my favourite things to do is sniping. I love sniper rifles. I love the sound it makes when you hit that headshot. I love the long range combat, and I love the scopes and the different sniper rifles you do get in the game. I love actually hitting long range shots, all that jazz. Anyway, guys, in this video, I'm going to give you my top pro sniper tips for gearing up for Arena Breakout. Now, these will apply for different maps. I will go into different sort of scenarios depending on what map you're going to play and what sniper rifle you're going to use, etc. I'm going to give you my personal opinion on everything that's the best to do if you're going to be either a solo sniper or a sniper in a full squad if you're the designated long range marksman. Now anyway guys, before I get into this video, if you do us a huge favour, please do like the video. It does help the algorithm a lot. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. I do live stream and I snipe quite a lot, so make sure you do check that out. Anyway, let's get into this one. So guys, tip number one is picking the perfect sniper for you. Now guys, there's sniper rifles as in bolt action like you're seeing in the background here that I've got a hold of, and there's also marksmanship rifles which are a bit more semi-auto. You can kind of just keep firing and firing and firing. You might see me a lot in my videos using M110, which is a good example. So guys, in this tip I'm going to give you some of my top tips for the best sniper rifles to use. Now currently I'm using an M24. Now M24s have a very high skill gap. They're not for everybody. Even with tier 5 ammo like I'm using now, you're still going to take a couple of shots to kill most targets unless you hit them in the head. But it's got a very fast ADS speed and run speed, so it's perfect for solo snipers that want to run around. Now, the Mosin is obviously a good choice for a lot of people. However, I would recommend if you're going to use a Mosin that you do shove it into the modifying bench and you go ahead. I don't know if I've already got a weapon build for this. If I can just click the button. No, I haven't. But you want to go ahead and change the body to this one. If I just empty that a second. You want to go ahead and get this one on so that you can put magazines in so it saves you reloading, because there's nothing worse than being in a sniper battle with someone and you have to reload one bullet at a time. You know, it takes too long and it's just easier just to swap magazine and carry on shooting, especially with bolt action ones. That's why I do prefer the M24 at times. Now, if you're feeling a bit richer, go for an SJ16 or an ER30. Now you can buy these from the gun, not the gun, Smith. You can buy these from the contacts. I'm not entirely sure which one sells them off the top of my head. He doesn't sell them. It's one of these last ones sell them. You can get an SJ16 or an ER30 off Thomas Edward, and you're looking at about 40k for that one and 87k for that one. So I like the SJ16 better anyway, but they're the more high tier ammoed ones. You also have the EX50, which I'm not going to mention in this video because I don't like the EX50. I think it's got too high recoil, very slow run speed. I don't find it a good sniper gun. It is obviously a one-shot kill with the ammo, but for actual snipers, no. Now, as we go to DMRs, guys, I'll just flick through the list on Gunsmith because it's easier. My top picks for DMRs will have to be the M14. Obviously you can kit it out a lot better, but you don't really need to kit this one out. It's perfect the way it is. Just shove a scope on it, a silencer, and it's ready to go. You've got the BM59. Now a lot of people don't like this. It's basically an M110 but short range, so you can use this one similar, but it's a bit less range, so I wouldn't go higher than a 4 times on this one, but it is really steady and like very accurate. And of course you've got the M110, very versatile, very sought after by everyone. I use this quite a lot, and one of my personal favorite DMRs is of course the SVDS. If you have seen me using this, you'll see why, because it uses Mosin ammo and it packs such a punch that it's absolutely amazing. Right guys, in for tip number 2. Now this is to do with your ammo selection. Now as you can see, I'm using the M24. I've got two 10 round mags and I'm packing M62, which is tier 5 ammo. So you can see at the top here, I'm not very rich at the moment, so I'm not going higher than that. But obviously M62 is a lot more powerful. This is tier 5. You can get tier 6 ammo in the M24. So I could, if I wanted to, go to M61, which is there, which is 500 coin more a bullet, but like I say, M61 or M8 is usually good enough for me. However, I will say to you guys, if you're going to snipe, especially solo, the highest tier ammo you can afford, I wouldn't go overboard, is the best one to use. I see a lot of people using SKSs or SVDSs or Mosins and stuff, and they've got the least costing ammo, the lowest tier possible. It's not good enough to take down players unless you hit a headshot and you're lucky enough for them not to have a helmet on. It's best to go with high tier ammo at all times so you know you're going to take down your target. Right, next guys, tip number 3, we're going to go for scope selection. Now, I'm using currently a 20 times scope, which is 6.5 times to 20 times, so I can swap between them two magnifications. I also use the 4 to 16 times, and I occasionally use the 2 to 7 or the 1 to 6, or even sometimes a 1 to 4. Now, this will depend entirely on your map. Now, if you think farm's quite small, I wouldn't often snipe on this one, but a 4 times is usually enough for farm. If I'm going valley, I'll probably take either a 2 to 7 or a 1 to 6, because it's relatively it's long range, but it's not too long range, if you know what I mean. It's a bit more close together. Northridge, I'll definitely go 16 or 20 times, depending on what I can afford. An armory, I'll tell you the truth, 4 times will do. I don't really snipe an armory, but it's an option if you really want to do that. But just bear in mind what map you're going on when it comes to sniping. Obviously, Northridge being the biggest one, you want the longest scope, because then you can be further away from people and you don't have to be necessarily up close and personal. But like I say, that's just my opinion. Longer scope for bigger maps, shorter scope for smaller maps, and then in between for valley, because that's like the in-between map. Right guys, tip number 4 for gearing up for snipers, guys. Now this is to do with the actual armor and rigs and backpacks that you wear. Now there's too many snipers I've killed that run around in tier 5, tier 6, etc. that makes them really heavy and slow. As a sniper, guys, you want to be fast and nimble. You want to be rotating constantly, moving in and out of cover, firing a shot and moving to fire from a different angle. I will do all this in a different video when I go through actual sniping tips. But these are for the gear, obviously. Now, usually, I'll go for something like, currently I'm using this because it's an armoured rig, it's not very heavy. You can see my overall weight is 27 out of 70. If I go to quick equip, I usually go for the, well, you can't see it there because it's blacked out. I'll go into the market here. You see I've favorited the SEK Fortress body armor because the movement speed reduction is only 3%. It's one of the fastest armors to wear for a tier 4 plate. Offers protection, but it also lets you run around. So I would recommend you dress, when you're going into sniping, as light as possible. Use your knife to run around rather than your sniper, so you can just be very, very nimble. Last but not least, guys, tip number 5 is what equipment you should be carrying alongside your armor, your gun, your headset and stuff like this. Obviously all this sort of thing is entirely up to you which one you use, but this is what I'm going to say when it comes to actual equipment and ammo. Now I usually carry a standard kit, 1000 med kit, one of these ones, the Battlefield med kit. I carry 2 drinks, sometimes the nom noms. Usually I just take them. I take a regen, I take an endurance, I take 2 grenades just in case, extra mag. Usually I don't have a little surgical kit, that's just because that's 3 out of 4. And I take an extra little mag. I don't bring bandages because I think it's a waste of a slot if you've got the 1000 here. And I take usually a relatively small backpack or none at all. And the reason for this is, guys, if you're sniping, you're going to stay well away from people. Occasionally people will return fire. And unless they're a really good shot, they're not going to do majorly massive damage to you. Sometimes they might take a leg out or something, hence the surgery kits. But I carry as little as possible. Now I see a lot of people naked run with snipers, bad idea. I think it's still useful to carry at least some things. Now I've got 60 extra ammo here, guys. I've got 20 in my gun. I'm not going to use the extra 60 ammo, but I do find it easier if you've got more than you need than less than you need, because I have found sometimes I've been in with my M110, I've ran into a couple of squads and I've started to run out of ammo and I've been panicking because I think, right, I'm going to end up getting killed here because I can't kill anyone. So like I say, I prefer to bring more ammo than less ammo. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you prepare more to snipe in Arena Breakout. I am going to do another video where I teach you the best ways to actually snipe, running around on solo or in a squad. Mainly solo though, because that's what I play. So make sure you do look out for that. And if you have enjoyed this video, guys, leave a like down below and make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.